When you hear the words AI agent, what do you immediately picture? Is it some kind of sci-fi robot, a super intelligent assistant, or is it, just another flashy word for something we already have, automation?
That confusion is, well, it's absolutely everywhere right now.
Right.
And it's not just about the words. I mean, when people use AI, automation, bots, and agents all in the same breath, they're missing this huge technological gap that separates them.
And if you don't see that gap, you can't really understand where work is headed.
Exactly.
So that's the core of our deep dive today. Our whole mission is to, strip away the jargon, use some really clear examples from the research, and define exactly what automation is, what AI agents actually are, and why this difference is probably the biggest shift in how machines get things done that we've seen in, well, decades.
And we can start with the simplest, purest example of automation you can imagine. Something so common you don't even notice it.
Let's do it. The classic example that really sets the stage.
Yeah.
The automatic door at a shopping mall. You walk up, the door opens, it's perfect, it's reliable, and it's utterly boring.
It is the absolute pinnacle of pure automation.
Yeah.
The logic is just a simple conditional statement. If motion is detected, then open the door.
Yeah.
Full stop.
No thinking.
No thinking involved, no decision-making, and definitely no learning. I mean, that door does not care if you're running late or if it's pouring rain outside. It just follows one single rule.
Okay, but now, this is where the research asks us to add a little bit of intelligence, a little context.
Right.
Imagine you walk up to that same door, but this time the system sees more than just movement. It notices you're carrying, say, two very large, heavy boxes.
Yeah.
And you have a small child right behind you, and because it's a holiday weekend, the crowd is dense.
So if it were an AI agent system, it wouldn't just open based on movement. It would observe all that context, the bags, the child, the traffic. It would decide that just opening for a minimum time isn't good enough.
So what does it do?
It would act. It would open the door wider, hold it open longer, and maybe even ping an internal system with a small congestion alert.
That jump from a simple if this, then that, to given all this context, what's the best possible outcome? That's the line we've just crossed.
That is the beginning of an AI agent.
So before we get too far ahead, let's really nail down that foundation. What exactly is traditional automation?
At its heart, automation is a rule follower. It's built entirely on predefined, simple, very specific instructions. It's reliable because it's so predictable.
We use it everywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
For massive processes. In IT, we have rules like if CPU usage goes over 80% for 5 minutes, just restart the service.
Or like, if a new file lands in this folder, zip it up and move it to the archive.
Exactly. It does these specific tasks very fast, very efficiently.
Well, where does a system like that start to fail?
The limitation is its complete blindness to context. Automation is built to execute, not to understand. It never stops to ask, is this actually the best action to take right now?
It just asks, did the condition match? Yes or no?
That's it. If the condition is met, the command runs no matter what else is happening around it.
And the research really highlights this with an example that I think we've all felt. That incredibly annoying IT help desk ticket that gets closed but never actually solved.
Let's run through that. So a user submits a ticket. My application is slow.
Okay.
Standard automation sees those keywords. It checks the server, maybe sees the CPU load briefly spiked, and then it does its one job. It restarts the service.
And then immediately closes the ticket.
And then immediately closes the ticket because its task, the restart is complete.
Ah, the classic case of treating the symptom, not the actual disease. I feel this pain so deeply.
Exactly. The automation did its job according to its rules, but the user is still frustrated because the real root cause was never even looked at.
Right. Maybe the problem was actually a slow database that only gets overloaded during a morning report.
Or a network issue from a recent update. The machine doesn't care about any of that. It executes its rule and moves on, failing to solve the real problem because it just can't connect the dots.
It can't see anything outside its pre-programmed flowchart.
That's the key. Automation is rigid. It's a flowchart. If you didn't draw a box for it, it simply doesn't exist.
Okay, so that lack of context brings us perfectly to the AI agent, the reasoner. This is where the machine stops acting like a simple calculator and starts acting more like a capable assistant.
And what's fascinating is how it operates in a complete cycle. An agent doesn't just check a box. It follows 4 key actions that automation never even tries. It observes the environment, it decides on a path, it acts, and this is the critical part, it learns from the outcome.
So let's go back to that slow application ticket. If automation completely missed the forest for the trees, how does an agent actually reason its way to a better solution?
Well, The agent starts reasoning immediately. First, it observes everything it can: server logs, network health, the time of day, even the user's location and specific error
So
codes.
it's gathering way more data.
And then, crucially, it compares this one incident to thousands of similar incidents from the past. It uses its memory.
So it's not just following a rule, it's asking what has actually solved this kind of problem before.
Precisely. And if it sees a pattern, say 85% of slow app tickets on Monday mornings were actually fixed by scaling the database, not restarting the server, it decides on that better action. It predicts the real cause.
That is the leap from a quick fix to a real strategy.
Instead of blindly restarting, it might come back with a suggestion like, restarting won't help. The real issue is database overload. We recommend adding capacity during the 9 to 10 a.m. window.
You've gone from just doing a task to actual diagnosis and proactive problem solving.
Yeah, and you can see this in something as simple as managing your email inbox.
Right, I can set an automation rule that says if an email has the word invoice, move it to the finance folder. It's predictable, but it's also brittle.
It fails right away if a vendor writes, "See attached payment docs," or confirming this transaction. The automation only sees the keyword, or the lack of one.
But the AI agent, it goes deeper.
It doesn't just hunt for keywords. It uses language models to understand the intent of the message,
The meaning.
the meaning. It knows the goal is about payment processing. It gets that the content is a financial document, even without the word invoice. And another key agent capability, if it's really not sure what to do, it doesn't just fail. It can actually stop and ask you a clarifying question.
That ability to pause and reason, to confirm, that's intelligence on top of action. And this brings us to what I think is the single most important idea we pulled from the research.
If you take away only one thing from this deep dive, it should be this. We can define the entire difference by the fundamental question each technology asks itself.
Okay, lay it out for us. What's the dividing line?
Automation asks, what specific fixed rule should I execute right now? Its focus is 100% on execution.
Following the steps.
And the AI agent asks, what is the ultimate goal and how do I reason my way to achieving it? Its focus is on the outcome.
And on adapting its method to get there.
Right. And that changes everything. Now, we get why people confuse them. I mean, they both save time, they both reduce manual work, they both run without a human pressing a button every second.
They both involve machines doing work. But, as the notes say, that's like saying a bicycle and a car are the same thing because they both get you across town.
The capability is just dramatically different. Automation really is like a calculator. It's fast, it's accurate, but it only solves the exact problem you give it. It can't apply that math to a new situation.
Whereas the AI agent is more like a junior analyst.
Yes, it can pull together different streams of information, draw some conclusions, and make judgments that go way beyond simple math. It's an intellectual leap.
It's the difference between a machine that executes tasks and a machine that manages objectives.
That's the perfect way to put it.
So let's talk about the impact of that shift, because this is where business and work really start to change. Let's take a complex workflow, like generating a monthly report for the executive team.
Okay, so the automation way of doing that is straightforward. It pulls data from 3 databases, it creates a standard spreadsheet, attaches a PDF summary, and emails it out at 5 p.m. sharp. Task complete.
End of the line. But if you give an AI agent the same goal to inform the executive team, it's a totally different ballgame.
The agent pulls the data, and then the reasoning starts. It doesn't just show the numbers, it notices anomalies. If sales dropped 10% in one region, the agent flags that.
But wait, couldn't you just program a rule for that? Like, if drop is 5%, flag it. Where's the agent part?
The agent part is in the synthesis and the insight. It doesn't just flag the drop, it connects the dots. It might see that the marketing budget was cut by 15% in that same region at the same time.
I see.
So it concludes, the 10% sales drop is correlated with the 15% marketing cut. That's an insight. Then it highlights the risk and suggests a next step. Recommend scheduling a meeting between sales and marketing to adjust Q4 spend.
Wow, that's profound. It's not taking responsibility for making the file. It's taking responsibility for the outcome of informing leadership and even trying to fix the problem.
It's working toward the goal of keep the business healthy.
Yeah.
And we can see this on a personal level, too, with something like a smart alarm clock.
Right. My current alarm is pure automation. It's 7 a.m. emmer. It follows that one rule no matter what.
But an AI agent system, one that understands context about you, would observe your behavior. It sees you logged off your computer at 2 a.m., It checks your calendar and sees your first meeting was just pushed back.
Okay.
It decides the best action here is to let him sleep an extra 20 minutes. So it delays the alarm, and then it learns based on how you respond, making it better for next time.
The agent understands my goal to be rested and productive, while the automation just understands the clock.
And this is why it's so disruptive.
Mhm.
For decades, the model was humans decide, machines execute.
But now humans are starting to just define the big picture objective, and AI agents are figuring out the messy, complex, contextual how.
They're taking responsibility for outcomes. And that's a huge cognitive shift, because now the work left for us is defining the right goals and, just as importantly, auditing the agent's reasoning.
And speaking of auditing, we have to manage expectations here, right? We can't confuse this new capability with, consciousness.
That is vital. It's so important to clarify what these agents are not. They are not conscious, they are not perfect decision makers, and they are absolutely not a replacement for human judgment.
They still make mistakes?
They make mistakes, they are totally dependent on the quality of their training data, and they 100% need human supervision. They just extend our own capacity by handling the complex reasoning we used to have to do ourselves.
So to help people figure this out in the wild, the source material gives us a much better question to ask than just, is this automation or an agent?
A much more effective diagnostic tool.
The real litmus test.
The real question you should always ask when you see a new system is simply, who or what is making the decision?
If that decision is based on a fixed, simple rule, if X happens, do Y, then it's automation, even if it seems really complex on the surface.
But if the system is actively reasoning its way toward a goal, if it's observing context, weighing different options, and changing its approach,
Yeah.
that's an AI agent.
And here's the quiet truth that was embedded in all this.
Yeah.
A lot of companies think they're just using advanced automation, but they've already crossed that line.
They have. They're letting machines reason toward goals without fully grasping the new level of oversight and even liability that comes with it.
It's happening under the hood, and that's why understanding this difference is so crucial right now for everyone.
Absolutely.
We've spent this time digging into that gap between fixed, rule-based execution and dynamic, goal-based reasoning. The difference isn't about speed, it's about intelligence and learning.
And you can apply that knowledge right away.
So before we wrap up, take a second to think about your own work. Which parts are purely rule-based, like that automatic door? If I do X, then Y always happens.
And then think about which parts require real thinking, judgment, and weighing outcomes, the kind of work the agent does.
Because that's the final provocative thought to leave you with. What happens to the structure of your job, your team, or even your life when machines start doing both the execution and the reasoning?
Stay curious, stay thoughtful, and never confuse execution with intelligence.